High in the misty Himalayan mountains, where the sky touched the peaks and silence hung heavier than the clouds, lived an old sage named Baba Rudranath. For over 40 years he had renounced the material world. No electricity, no visitors, and not even a nameplate outside his stone hut. Just him, the wind, and the echoes of prayers. Locals called him Taposvi Baba, a man of wisdom who spoke little but whose eyes held the weight of centuries. But one morning, that quiet was broken. It was just after dawn. The dew still clung to the wildflowers. Baba was preparing his modest breakfast of boiled herbs when he heard something unusual. Not the cry of a mountain fox, not the whisper of wind. It was a soft sob. Cautiously, Baba followed the sound down a narrow path near the edge of the forest. And there, huddled beneath an ancient cedar tree, was a girl, older than 20, barefoot, shivering, and dressed in torn clothes. Her eyes were red, not just from tears, but from fear. "Who are you, child?" Baba asked gently. She looked up. "Don't send me back," she whispered. Baba, stunned, brought her to his hut. He offered her food and warmth, asking no questions at first. But the girl was not ordinary. She introduced herself as Kavya. She had run away from somewhere deep in the lower valleys, a place she called the compound. Self-proclaimed spiritual commune led by a man she only referred to as the Light. What Baba heard next chilled even his seasoned heart. She had been taken there at the age of 16, along with other girls, promised enlightenment. What they received was control, isolation, and dark rituals. Kavya had planned her escape for nearly a year, and in the dead of night, barefoot, with nothing but a stolen matchbox, she ran. "How did you end up here?" Baba asked. "I don't know," she replied. "I just followed the stars. Something told me to keep climbing." For days, Kavya remained hidden with Baba, regaining her strength. She was bright, curious, and hungry, not just for food, but for freedom. Baba, once alone and content, now found purpose in her presence. He began teaching her mantras, breathing techniques, and survival skills. But the past never lets go so easily. One night, as the two meditated outside beneath the starlit sky, Baba noticed torchlight flickering in the woods. Then, barking dogs. "They've come for me," Kavya whispered, trembling. Without hesitation, Baba stood. When the men arrived, 3 of them, muscular, dressed in robes, Baba did not retreat. "This is sacred ground," he warned. The men mocked him. "She belongs to us," one snarled. "You're just a mad hermit." They didn't know who Baba Rudranath truly was. In his youth, he had been a soldier, a decorated officer who had walked away from the battlefield after witnessing too much bloodshed. He had once trained in martial arts in the forests of Kerala, studied mind control in Tibet, and had fasted for 60 days straight in the deserts of Rajasthan. He wasn't just a sage, he was a protector. With lightning speed, Baba disabled the first man with a palm strike. The second he disarmed with a flick of his bamboo staff. The third turned and fled. Kavya stood frozen in awe. "You're safe now," he said softly. But Baba knew something deeper. Kavya wasn't meant to stay hidden forever. The world needed to hear her story. Weeks later, with Baba's blessing and guidance, Kavya descended the mountain. Not as a victim, but as a survivor. She exposed the so-called spiritual cult. News channels, women's rights groups, and police launched full-scale investigations. Several girls were rescued. The cult was dismantled. Kavya, now a woman of fierce grace, would visit Baba once a year. And every time he'd smile and say, "Even the mountains knew your strength. I just helped you see it." So, in the silence of the Himalayas, one man's wisdom met one girl's courage, and together they lit a fire that would never go out.